All right, Wes, I'm going to give an introduction, but I'm actually going to have you go first, and then Justin, and then Kristen, if that sounds good.
That works.
All righty. Well, good morning, everyone. Again, we are recording this. So we wanted to get some of our vendors on here and just give you guys a spotlight of some cool things that Wes and Justin and Kristen offer that not everybody necessarily does in their particular fields. So we're going to have each of them talk for probably 10-15 minutes, however long they would like to go. And then we're also going to finish up by talking about a feature on Gmail to help make sure that your Gmail is more secure. So hang on for that towards the end, and won't take very long. But I am going to turn it over to Wes, and he can introduce himself from there. And Wes, I've got your slides. Is it going to be easier if I screen share with you, or how do you want me to do it?
Yeah, you know what, I was thinking about that. How about I share my screen?
Perfect.
So that I can do the slides. So that was stupid of me to send it to you. I don't know why I did that.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, good to be with everybody today. Let's see here. It just
oh, hang on, let me stop.
What just happened? Yeah, okay. So many of y'all know me as Warranty Wes, the artist formerly known as Warranty Wes, but I am Warranty Wes no longer. For those of you who I don't know, I've been working with Coldwell Banker Barnes for the past over 7 or 8 years. So a lot of familiar faces on here, and I do see some people who have interacted with Punchlist on here, Alex and Valencia. I think Rochelle has. And forgive me if I'm leaving anybody out, but hopefully all of y'all will be using Punchlist moving forward. So let me just share my screen wherever I do that, right there. Okay. Okay, can y'all see my screen?
Yep.
Yes, like you got it.
Okay, I don't have it in presentation mode, but are y'all okay with that? That's okay, right? Okay, so essentially, Punchlist is a renovation and repair company, but that's not unique. You know, there's lots of renovation and repair companies out there. What makes us unique is the estimate process, which I'll get to here in a minute. But we're going to start with, what do y'all think the most common things on an inspection report in Tennessee are? Top 10 most common things, just shout them out.
Mold.
Yeah, that's one I hear about a lot.
Clogged gutters.
Clogged gutters. Okay.
My favorite.
GCFI outlets.
Issue. Yeah.
Right. So we've got a list here, actually. So it just FYI, here in Nashville, those are the most common things that show up. So, nowadays, not that the market is more normal, home inspections are things that happen a lot, right? So, and as soon as you get those home inspections, if you're going, let's say there's 50 items on the home inspection, if you're going to address 5 of those items, at that point, you as the real estate agent have to start reaching out to plumbers, electricians, handymen, whoever, right? Is that fun, calling contractors? No, it's not. It's very frustrating. Some of y'all probably feel this way sometime. So it's a headache to do all that, and Punchlist is kind of like the Advil to that headache. We take care of all of that for you. So when you get an inspection report back, you just upload it to our website. I'm going to go over this a little more in other slides, but and we will return to you a free line item cost estimate, next day turnaround for everything on that inspection report. We see these things day in and day out. We do thousands of these every month, so we've got a lot of data so that we can be really accurate with inspection with our cost estimates. There are things like if you're remodeling your kitchen, for example, or if your client wants to do that, or your bathroom, where we might actually have to go to the house, to do further evaluation just to kind of see the scope of it. Sorry, I got muted. For most things that show up on an inspection report, we know what it's going to cost. So that saves you a lot of time and headaches, so you don't have to be calling all these different contractors. For NAR members, anybody ever heard of the National Association of Realtors? Yeah, okay. That was a joke. That was a joke. Pete, laugh, please. So we have partnered with them. We are now their national preferred renovation and repair company. So, we're really proud of that. That gives us a lot of street cred, and a deal that we've worked out with them is NAR members get a 5% discount on all of their estimates. So any estimate that you order from us, or that your clients order from us, you get a 5% discount. That's not just one time, that's forever moving forward. We have a price match guarantee. So, if you get that estimate back from us, and let's say you want to move forward with those 5 items, let's say it's, I don't know, $1,500. If you find a lower price to get those things done, we will beat that price by at least 5% and as much as 10%, depending on the numbers. So it's not really a price match guarantee. It's more of a price will beat it guarantee. For anything done prior to closing, any work done prior to closing, the client can pay at closing, which is great. A lot of times these people don't have a bunch of money in the bank unless it's over $10,000. If it's over $10,000 prior to closing, they do need to put down a 30% deposit. But, typically most jobs are less than that. So it'll be a line item, on the closing docs. So lots of flexibility with payment options there. And then you see over to the right, we also have a 1-year warranty. So any work that we do is guaranteed for 1 year. That's good for any, post-closing arguments or disputes, right? Keep you out of trouble there. Moving on here. Okay, so kind of went over this already. So when you get that estimate back from us, obviously not every house is going to need work to be done on it, and we understand that a lot of times you'll just use this for negotiating, right? You need a dollar figure, you need a number to ask for credits or concessions or whatever. So which is fine. We get that. But if you do want to move forward with the work, the estimate looks kind of like a shopping cart. You can add and remove items from it. And as you do that, the dollar figure total at the bottom will update. And if you do want to move forward with those repairs, you just click approve at the bottom of the estimate. That kicks it over to our project management team. And they're the ones who take care of all the scheduling, making sure the work's done on time. We have people who go out to the home to do quality control, making sure it's up to the standards and expectations for the client. We deal with all of that stuff for you. Of course, we keep you in the loop about what's happening, right? But you're not having to chase after these contractors. We take care of all that for you. Clicking approve at the bottom of the estimate, that does not financially obligate you or your client, to do the work. We can't force somebody to pay for something we haven't done. All that does is just kicks it over to that project manager. It gives them kind of a flag in their system. Hey, I need to reach out to these people about scheduling. So a lot of people, that word approve kind of scares them a little bit when they see that on the estimate, but that is not financially obligating you to anything. It just gets the ball rolling. Without clicking approve, it won't go anywhere as far as scheduling. That's kind of the first domino to get that moving. So far, I have talked about repairs. We don't only do repairs, and we don't only do work within a transaction. We can do pre-list repairs or renovations. We can do stuff, during the transaction with an inspection report, or we can do post-closing stuff. Let's say, your buyer plans on doing some remodeling or some work on the house after closing. We can do that. Or just existing homeowners, past clients of yours. If you have a client that you remember, at 123 Easy Street, they were talking about, remodeling one of their bathrooms, and you remember that, that's a good reason to call, right? To reach out to them and, hey, I remember you talking about that bathroom. I've got this company that I work with that can help you with that, because a lot of times people don't want to deal with all of the getting a bunch of estimates and everything. So for renovations like that, we are now partnered with Home Depot. They're actually, Home Depot is an investor in our company. So they made us a punch list, what we're calling a lookbook. It's a digital catalog, basically, where you can flip through. It's got a bunch of different fixtures, tile choices, carpet, appliances, whatever, paint colors, doors, anything you can think of, just to make it a little easier for some of these people who might not be able to envision what they want. This book helps them out with that. So it's kind of cool. We're excited about that. That's a brand new thing that we just came out with. Next, so how do you get started with this? So the first thing that you do is create a user profile. And I'm happy to do that for you. It's really easy. It's just you create a username and password. I'm going to put my email address in the chat. So if you want to email me, let me know that you want me to set an account up for you, I'm happy to do that. But you create a user profile, and then, like I said, it's really easy when you do either upload an inspection report or a project list. It does not have to be an inspection report. It could be a list of things that you want us to do. And then we email you the estimate, and then you can book the repairs or the project, and then you're good to go. When you log in, you can check on the status of the project, kind of at how far along we are with it. You can do some scheduling on there. It's pretty cool, pretty interactive stuff. This is what the estimate looks like. This is not a great example of it. There's only a couple things on here, but you see it's got an estimate for the crawl space work with the pictures from the inspection report. And then you see the electrical. I don't know if it's big enough for y'all to see, but over there to the right, you see it says remove item. That's what I mentioned before. You can remove items, and as you do that, that total down at the bottom will update. You also see the button there that says approve estimate. That's what I was talking about. Once you click that, that's what kind of gets the ball rolling with the scheduling and everything. We have this QR code here. You're welcome to scan it right now. I would rather you, it's going to take you to the page where you can create your account. I honestly would rather create your account for you, just to ensure I'm going to get all of y'all set up to get that 5% discount. So if you want a 5% discount, don't use this QR code. I'm trying to get them to change it, but just reach out to me. The last thing that I want to say, so does anybody on this call work for commission? Yes, you do, right? Yes, I do as well. So this is my humble, shameless, part of the presentation where I ask for the business, which we all have to do being in sales. My company and myself, we don't keep the lights on by giving y'all free cost estimates, right? That actually costs us money to produce those things. So this is me humbly asking you that if you do move forward with any repairs, or if you do move forward with a project, give us a chance to get that business. That's how we stay in business, is by actually doing the work. I would compare it in your life to, if you go do like a buyer presentation, and you spend all this time doing that, preparing for it, driving to meet them, and they end up signing with a different agent, right? It's that kind of comparison. So again, that was just my, humbly asking for the business. Hopefully it came across that way. But that is pretty much it. Do y'all have any questions? I think everybody's muted. Michelle. Oh no, Pete, what's up?
So if I have a buyer and he's buying a new house right now, and then he wants to do some further builds and stuff afterwards, I could just call you on that as well?
Absolutely. We do anything short of actually building a house.
Okay. Like outdoor kitchens and stuff like that.
Yes, all that stuff, decking, anything. So I'm actually working with an agent right now in their personal home, and they're adding a bedroom and a bathroom. So we can do the big projects. We work with general contractors, all the way down, general contractors, electricians, plumbers, all the way down to, handymen and painters and whatever else. So yes, we can do pretty much anything you can think of. The only real thing that we don't really do is like kind of large foundational jobs. Like if the house is leaning or something like that, we don't mess with that. I think it's just like a liability thing, but we do, minor foundational stuff like, filling in cracks and things like that, maybe structural like joists in the crawl space, things like that. But as far as like big structural work, we don't do that. But other than that, we pretty much do anything.
What about, have you been in a situation where the people want the work done and trying to get everybody there to close on time? Does that just go to the next person that purchased the house with, already being paid, or do you try to get everything done within a certain amount of time? Well, I can imagine some of the stuff, might take longer, let's say crack windows and you're waiting on stuff.
Yeah. And it's funny you bring up windows. I actually had a call about that this morning, and yeah, windows are still taking a while to get, but we work within your time frame. If this is, prior to closing, when you request the estimate, one of the fields that you fill out is the expected closing date. Just to give our project management team a heads up on, hey, is the clock ticking on this, or do we have a little bit of time? Most of these things that show up on an inspection report are easy. We not knock them out with a handyman. But yes, for the longer things, Pete, yeah, obviously that's going to take some more time, especially if we have to order materials and all that. But it's just going to depend on the scope of the project. So, Mr. Pierce, I see your yellow hand is up. Mm-hmm. There he is. What's happening?
What did you say the limit was? What can the seller pay for at closing? How much?
So if it's under $10,000, okay, they can pay at closing.
All right. What happens if they get an offer on the home, they go through inspections, repairs get started, repairs get finished, and then for some reason the closing doesn't happen? That's
a great question. So we typically, we typically get the seller to sign like a promise to pay deal. Another situation that we've encountered before, similar to that, but different reasoning. We've had a seller, working with an agent who the agent recommended that they fix up their house, before putting it on the market. And then we went out there and fixed up the house, and all of a sudden the person doesn't want to move anymore because they love their new house, right? Yes. So, we're obviously in business, and we need to get paid for the work that we do. So it's typically a promissory note, with a ballpark expected closing date and all of that. But we haven't run into many problems with that. It's just kind of anecdotal, really.
So is the agent or brokerage or anything like that responsible? Are they in any way involved with that?
No, your client is our client. Okay. Your client is our client. You, the agent, are not our client. So the answer to that is no. And honestly, I mean, any reasonable client should know that, but I understand that y'all deal with some, a spectrum of different types of clients. I get that for sure.
Yeah.
Anything else? Do y'all like this? Is this something that you could see yourself using? Alex, what's up?
Yeah, I actually have a follow-up just on that. Me and Michelle were just texting about it. So on that same thought, if we have a listing and we're not under contract, and we've had like a similar comment about something in the house, are we able to hire Punchlist to fix that up? And then we don't have a closing date because we don't know how much longer it's going to sit on the market, or does it have to be under contract?
No, it does not have to be under contract. Okay. We absolutely do, pre-list work, as well as, just houses that are on the market and, you don't have a contract yet. Yes, in anything. We're not limited to anything as far as the timing of the house. Kind of our goal is to be the go-to repair and renovation company for the life of the house, whether it's being sold or not. So yeah.
I'll give you a plug too. So I didn't have to mess around with Punchlist. Wes and me were just texting the whole time. He set up my account whenever I have a project. Just been texting. You've been great. So big fan. Thanks, Wes.
Thank you, Alex. I appreciate that, man.
Yep.
How
Utilize
about-
it.
What now?
I said utilize it. It's something that definitely is, we're back in that market where we need you for sure.
Yeah, you know, I guess I'll close just by saying this, kind of my advice to you. The estimate is free, right? So in my mind, literally every single inspection report or every project list that you have, you should use us, right? You're going to want to need a dollar figure for that, right? Whether or not you move forward with the work is just going to depend on the transaction or the home or the client, right? We understand that it's not always going to be needed, but at the very minimum, I think this should be a bullet point on your list of things that you do for every transaction, right? Because it's free, next day turnaround, and you know what a resource you're providing for your clients as well, you know. And if the work is not done prior to closing, if you're on the list, if you have the seller and you're not doing any work, but you did get an estimate from us, please share it with the buyer's agent so they can share it with their buyer to potentially get that business after closing, right? You know, just kind of help us out a little bit if you can there. And then same with your buyer. You know, if you're on the buyer's side and you get the estimate and you know that work is not going to be done prior to closing, please share that with your buyer for potential post-closing work. You know, just give us a chance and at bat, I guess. That's what I'm saying there. So any other questions? All right, well, I'm gonna put my new email address. Oh, and by the way, if you have my old phone number, that's no longer my number. So a guy named Kevin's gonna answer if you call that. He's a great guy. But I'm gonna put my new phone number and my new email here in the chat. And like I said, please email me so that I can set up an account for you with that 5% discount.
Thanks, Wes.
Thank you, Wes.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank y'all.
All right, next up is going to be Justin.
Awesome.
Justin, I think you're.
Yeah, I got my camera turned off because my video just keeps on freezing, but we'll see if the video will get going for a little bit. Is it cool if I go ahead and share my screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
I just want to let everyone know, I just used Justin for the first time. And the amount of people that actually commented on a lot of the stuff that he did, it does make a huge difference. Actually, I had one of my agents this morning or last night text me to get your number. So he probably reached out to you.
Awesome. Appreciate that. I don't think I've seen it come through yet, but close enough. Can you guys see my screen, see the presentation and everything? Wonderful. I'm honestly just going to keep it looking like this rather than go into presentation view. Also, apologies, I'm fighting off a little bit of a cold, tail end of it, so I might be sniffling and coughing a couple times. But my name is Justin Fricke. I own a company called Justin L. Fricke Media. We provide scroll stopping photos and videos for realtors and business professionals. So I'm going to take this presentation in a little bit different direction and talk more about how, you know, the real estate media that you can get done for your listings actually can help you get more clients rather than even helping you sell the property. That's why, crazy enough, truly, I believe that you can sell a home right now in today's market with cell phone photos. You know, the property does need to be priced correctly. Might sit around for a while, but you probably won't get a premium price for it. But, you know, it should still sell. So why exactly do you even want to bother with professional photography, video, drone, 3D tours, all of that to help sell a home? Well, I believe that the media that you use to sell a home represents your brand. So selling a home without a realtor is doable. People sell their home via FSBO all the time. But the media that you get to market your listings is going to help you get more clients. So here's just a couple of examples for us. This is a really cool kitchen that we photographed in East Nashville. We also offer twilight photography. A lot of our clients have been getting twilight photography lately, just because it helps their listing pop a little bit more on social media and then also on the MLS. Here's an example of that listing that we photographed for Pete a couple weeks ago in Brentwood. It was actually a rainy, kind of dreary day out there, but we include blue sky replacements all the time at no cost. because the media that we produce, it's scroll stopping and it helps you get more clients. We do all of our editing in-house. We do that by blending multiple images to get one scroll stopping image. Like I said, we include blue sky replacement, so you never have to worry about gray skies in your photos. And we always deliver our photos the next day as well, because we know that you guys probably need to get everything online coming soon as possible. Something else that I thought was really cool, it was also wanting to make sure that kind of we were able to show that the windows were, brand new HD. You can kind of see out of them really well. And I think we were able to do that for them. Now, who would you choose to sell your home? So when a seller is interviewing multiple realtors to sell a home, they're weighing their options to help them sell their biggest asset for top dollar. More than likely, they're looking for someone who makes the process easy and has a proven marketing strategy. So that marketing strategy that you bring to the table can help you win more listings. And if you put yourself in your seller's shoes, would you be more keen to hire a realtor that only takes like mediocre photos for their listings? Or would you rather hire that realtor that has a robust marketing plan with something like video, drone, 3D tours, vertical videos, that kind of stuff? So this is what a timeline of some of our videos look like whenever we're editing them and putting them together for you. We try to make them a little less vanilla than what you would typically see, make it a little bit more interesting, doing some speed ramps and being able to highlight some different details of a home that might be interesting that would help you sell them, just to be able to kind of captivate the audience a little bit more. And again, make it more interesting for potential clients whenever you're on site doing one of those listing presentations for them to see. And all the time I hear that, a property doesn't need anything else. That's usually because it's smaller, outdated. But I'd argue that your marketing, that you should market, your current listing for the listing that you want. Does that kind of make sense, that you should market your current listing for the listing that you want? So if you're currently getting listings that are, in that like $300,000 to $400,000 range, but you want those listings in that $1 to $2 million range, I'd argue that it's probably time to start marketing those listings in that 300 to 400 range that you went in that $1 to $2 million range. Something that we do offer is drone. Quick story to share with you. I actually saved a client last month from making an $11,000 mistake. They called me up, said, "Hey, we need you to take photos of this listing. It's got a pretty big lot. We're not going to have you do the drone. We're going to have a friend do the drone, because we're helping out a friend who just got a drone and is wanting to get into doing like real estate photography with a drone." I asked them, big question, is your friend Part 107 certified? They double checked with the friend. They are not Part 107 certified. And if that realtor used their friend to do the drone photography and the FAA found out, that realtor could then get fined $11,000. So one thing I always, tell my clients or any potential clients to double check with, whether you're hiring my company or anyone else to do drone, always make sure that they're Part 107 certified, because it's a lot better to hire someone who is Part 107 certified than to get fined $11,000 by the FAA. That's never fun. We already went through that part. So part of the selling process that sorry, losing my notes here. Part of making the selling process easier is getting things done for your clients in as few steps as possible. That's why we want to be your go-to or your all-in-one marketing partner for real estate media. So, we provide everything: photo, video, drone, iGuide 3D tours, virtual staging, vertical videos, and floor plans. That way you only have to make one call for the media, and you don't have to juggle multiple vendor schedules like you would if you were hiring, one person for the videos, another person for video, or one person for photos, another person for video, another person for drone. So I'll just go through a few more of those services that we do offer, one of which is virtual staging. Typically, our clients will get virtual staging done if they don't have the budget to actually stage the property. They'll also get virtual staging done if they're on a tight timeline and they're not able to get a stager in time. Our staging is pretty lifelike. It also kind of helps just give buyers an idea of what can fit into a space. Again, we offer iGuide 3D tours. It's a great way to be able to let potential clients walk around a house and be able to get really good potential buyers in that house, so that they kind of already know what it looks like. Also, a lot of our clients have been seeing successes with these, with like out of state buyers from like California or New York. Lastly, one of the biggest things that I've been seeing a lot lately are other companies. They will offer ridiculously cheap prices for photo, video, drone, and a Matterport 3D tour. All of that for like $200, which is absolutely absurd. Once you start peeling back those layers, it makes a lot of sense. They go through and do like a Matterport 3D scan, and then they just pull photos from that Matterport tour that Matterport automatically generates. So this top photo is what someone had done with a Matterport, getting the photo auto-generated. Property wasn't selling. We came in and did professional photography, and within like 24 hours, they were getting offers and more traction on that property. So, standard, if something sounds too good to be true, just double check and see why people think it might be too good to be true. It might be getting yourself into something like this. But thanks for having me today. That's all I've got for you. I like to keep it pretty short and sweet. If you guys have any questions, we'd love to answer those. I'm also going to be sure to drop my info in the chat box as well. So if we can't get a chance to chat here, we'd love to set up a time to get a phone call with you guys too.
Justin, I would even add, like on that picture that you're talking about there, the Matterport versus what you produce. There are some professional photographers that would even produce a non-Matterport image like you saw there, with the colors
totally
all wrong, dark, things like that. One thing that I noticed on your video example, you had your video editing software up on the screen. And to the left, you had all of your adjustments, contrast, saturation, and all that. So again, for all the agents that are on this call, what I took from that is that he doesn't take the video that he shoots if it's not perfect and just put it out there. He's making adjustments throughout to give you the best picture. Is that wrong? Is that a representation of what's not really there? Well, no, it's not. It's not like he's wiping out, phone poles or electrical wires or anything like that. He's just taking what is there and presenting it in its best light. So, definitely there is a difference in photography. There's a difference in the emotional response that the public, your clients will have when you make their house look even better.
Yeah, I appreciate you mentioning that too. And one of the things that we do really pride ourselves on is being able to do some customizations and whatnot. So, if there is like a certain detail, there was one house I photographed yesterday. The seller did a lot of upgrades in a new build, just with like some of the lighting and different kind of like fixtures like that. And they wanted to be able to highlight that because literally their next door neighbor is selling their house as well. So they wanted to be able to show, hey, our house is priced a little bit higher because you're also getting these. We're able to zoom in, get those details for you guys as well, and be able to kind of take those comments and run with them. Same goes for video. We also like to, chat with folks up front too. On Friday, I was working with someone who literally in front of their listing was exactly that: telephone pole and some electrical wires. Got to let them know up front that, hey, we're not allowed to erase these because that's actually not MLS compliant. And you could get in a lot of trouble for that. And we don't want to see that happen to you.
Yeah.
Well, this is good because I know Tom, he was our marketing guy for about 2 weeks. And he had to do some of this stuff and he learned on the fly. Oh, that's good. I appreciate you, Dustin. Seriously. Like I said, that was a lot better than the photos I've been getting. And I'll definitely be using you again. And that's why I wanted you on this phone call, because I'm pushing all my agents to start seeing that as well. I don't care if you have a $300,000 property. It's not that, it's the people that are looking at your videos and what you're doing with that is what's going to sell your home, so you're selling yourself on no matter what. Yeah,
I really appreciate that. And again, thanks for having me here. One of the things that I think that also kind of makes us a little different from other companies too, is I've got a small company. It's like myself and a couple of other photographers as well. And the difference there is that I'm able to personally train each photographer that I hire on. So basically, I just try to clone myself as best as possible so that whether it's myself photographing your listing or Nick or someone else from my company, you wouldn't even know the difference between, the 2 or 3 of us.
Awesome.
Justin, actually have a quick question for
Yeah,
you.
go for it.
Do you have a certain radius areas that you actually work? And if so, can you share that? And if it's past that radius, how much does it cost?
Yeah, so our typical sweet spot is Davidson County and then all of the counties that touch Davidson. So that would be like Wilson, Sumner, Williamson, Rutherford, Cheatham. I think that's it. I think I'm doing good on my geography. And then pretty much from the center of Nashville, if it's further than 30 miles away, then that would be like a $50 travel charge as well. If you're doing, so for instance, we were out in Murfreesboro, it was like 35 miles away for us. But our client did photo, video, drone, they did an agent on camera tour and an iGuide tour. So because of that, we were able to drop that $50 travel charge because that package was so big and it, financially made a lot of sense for both of us. So yeah, so we can kind of work with you on some of those things as well. Does that answer your question?
Yes. I just
Perfect.
have a couple of agents that work down Lewisburg and some other areas down there. So
yeah, we can do Lewisburg. I've got one of my employees, Nick, he's actually in Chapel Hill right now. It does come with an added travel cost as well. But we're pretty upfront with you on what your out the door cost would look like if we are going out that far. If we're not able to make it work with our schedule because of the distance, we're usually able to refer you to, someone else that we trust, or at least we're able to try and refer you to someone that we trust.
okay, thank you.
Sure thing.
Did you do Instagram reels too, Justin? You might have mentioned that if you did.
Yeah. So that was the vertical video that I was talking about.
Vertical video. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, we did one for Pete's listing, and I'm looking on my Instagram right now. Sorry, my camera's not working, having a fun time. Yeah, the one that I posted for Pete on mine has already gotten like 3,200 views over the past couple of weeks. So yeah, it's interesting how they kind of pick up and, you post it and then 5 days later, all of a sudden someone looks at it and starts sharing it. So it's interesting.
Nice.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Appreciate you coming on here. So we are gonna kick it to Miss Kristen Stayback, the
No one knows.
Cutco lady. No one knows Kristen. I know. You've probably
Kristen,
never
I got
seen
an
her.
email from you this morning. Did everybody get an email from Kristen?
I did. Yep, I got that too.
Dang, you beat me to it, Wes. I was going to say that there's actually a couple of events coming up that are some national events that are being hosted here, ladies and gentlemen, in Nashville. There's another one coming up April 4th, 5th that I'll be sending an email out about. But anyways, so I don't know why these national coaches and like people are reaching out to me, but hey, here we go. So I will share those with you guys as well. And maybe you want to go to them, maybe you don't. I don't know. But yes, you did get an email from me. Got to stay top of mind, right, Wes?
And that's the name of the game.
That's right. Howdy, everyone. Good morning. I'm glad to see a few of you have your cameras on. Others of you guys, I don't know what's going on, but hey, that's cool. Didn't want to see your faces anyways. It's fine. It's cool. It's cool. Just messing. Most people that know me know that I joke a lot. So we're going to talk a little bit today about gifting and branding, which I know all y'all, this is very participatory. So hopefully those of you guys that have your videos off can like use your little emojis or something with your Zoom portion. Because I like to be a little interactive. So we are going to be a little interactive. So just be a little bit ready for that, guys. So we're going to talk about gifting and branding, which we all do in our business, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we all do it. It's inevitable. We kind of have to. It's important. No matter what industry you are in, it's important to brand yourself. It's important to stay top of mind to increase your client retention. So we're specifically going to hone in on gifting today. And then for those of you guys that are like interested in gifting and branding and how you can be strategic in your business with it, we'll snag more time outside of this call today. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I know we're not going to have any problems with this. If my video kicks off, Justin, I actually have a problem with my video kicking off as well too. Sometimes because I have too much stuff on my computer, so it doesn't allow me to keep my video on sometimes. So we're going to see if that happens today. So outside of, Michelle and Pete and Tom and Valencia, who I've worked with for quite some time, that have heard me talk about this. Does anyone else outside of maybe them pay attention to the studies that NAR does every single year with buyers and sellers? Some people, and yeah, usually there's like one, maybe if I'm lucky, there's like one sympathy hand raised. So I'm going to share some numbers with you guys. Some might come as a surprise to you, some may not. If you've heard me talk, well, then these numbers really haven't changed much in my 9 years of gifting and branding. So every year they do the studies with buyers and sellers every single year. And every single year it comes back somewhere between 80 and 95% of Americans that say, I had a great experience with my real estate agent. I would use them again. I would refer them again to my family and friends, and I would keep coming back, which is really good. Most years it's like 85 to 95%. But that's, 8 or 9 people out of 10 that had a really good experience with you that said they would use you again on the next transaction. All right. Anyone want to take a guess, which is really awesome, but would anyone like to take a guess on average, what percentage of Americans do use their same agent on the second transaction? I'll give you a hint, it's lower. This is the part where we participate, It's all right, I'll tell you. I'll just tell you, it's fine. Let's just say when I first started gifting and branding 8-9 years ago, it was single digits. That's all I'm going to say. In the past couple of years, it did peak. We had an 18%, we had a 13%. So I'm just going to be nice and give you an average and say 15%. Somewhere between 10 to 15% of Americans use their same agent again on the second transaction. Guys, that's not even 2 out of 10 that come back to use you again on that next transaction. Like that, ouch, that hurts, like that stinks, but they loved you, said they'd use you again and refer you again, but only 1, maybe 2 will come back and do that again. And the number one reason why, when they're polled why they don't use their same agent on that second transaction, is because they say they simply can't remember their agent's name. That is the number one reason why they do not use their same agent. And most of the time, guys, they can typically remember the company, but they can't remember their agent's name. And a lot of people are like, how is that possible? Like, that's like one of their largest transactions of their life. Yeah, you're correct. But I encourage you to think about, do you remember who you bought your car from last? Most likely you can probably name the dealership, but the likelihood you remember who it was you bought the car from is pretty slim to none, right? Unless you're just one of those unique people that have a fantastic mind, which I would love to pick your brain on how you can do that. But because that's a pretty low percent. In this day and age, we live in a digital era. People are constantly marketing to your people. Think about all the marketing you get every single day. Like, I get tons of marketing. I can't tell you how many emails I delete that are marketing emails that come to me every single day. So, and it's not just emails, it's Instagram, it's Facebook, it's Twitter, it's what's that new thing, the TikTok, and then like direct mail, like all that stuff are ways that we're getting marketing to. So to really have mind share in this day and age is pretty hard to actually do and to stay top of mind, which this is definitely for another time that I know we're working on, but I've got a class on ways to stay top of mind to increase your client retention with your clients. And the key is really, guys, to just stay top of mind. And nowadays people know somewhere between 5 to 10 real estate agents. So when it boils down to them buying, selling, investing, referring out, whatever that might be, they're going to go with whoever's the most top of mind. It's who they're going to go with. So the question is, are you really the most top of mind with your clients? Because the reality is most of the time we think we are, but we probably really aren't the most top of mind. So one way you guys can do that is being strategic through the art of your gifts. So most gifts people have a tendency to give. And actually, let's do a quick exercise. So what day are we on? It is February 21st. So we had the holidays, 2 months ago, right? Out of curiosity, how many of you guys can remember every single gift that you gave people 2 months ago? And let alone every single gift that you personally received. Can you remember every single thing? Okay, that was 2 months ago, right? Like 2 months ago. So what happens in the reality of gifting, now, not to even mention, like, go back a year ago, what did you get then? Like, fat chance, I know, right? Unless it's something like incredibly over the top, huge. But the reality of gifting, guys, when we give a gift, whether it's holidays, birthdays, family, friends, or business gifts, whatever it may be, when we give a gift, everyone always loves them and appreciates them. Am I right? Like, they're always grateful for them. But the reality of most gifts that we give don't do much for us and aren't remembered. Because most things people have a tendency to give, it is your wine, it is your baskets, it's your gift cards, it's your dinner out, it's something cute for the front porch or the wall or the shelf or the kids, which kids, what they like changes on a day-to-day, weekly basis, So guys, here's the harsh reality. They like your gift. It's just very quickly forgotten, or they eat it, drink it, spend it, and it's done, and it's gone, or sits on the wall or shelf, and maybe it's there in a couple of years, maybe it's not, but the likelihood it's there. It's probably collecting dust, but they don't really remember where it came from. So when you guys gift from a business standpoint, there's 3 things you really want to look for in your gifting. Number one, you want to ask yourself, is my gift something useful? This is something my clients are actually going to use on a weekly basis, at least once a week, but can they use it more than once a week? The second thing is it quality? Is it actually going to stick around? Because most things don't stick around if we really think about it. So if they can use it at least once a week and it's sticking around 5-10 years later and they're still using your gift every week, that can be very powerful for you and your business. Which brings me to my third point. You do want to brand things. But hear me very loud and clear on this, guys. Do not be that person that brands your gifts very large and in charge in the middle of a gift. That is not cool. All right. You do want to brand your gifts, but you want to be very subtle and classy and tasteful with it. You don't want it to, affect the durability, the longevity, or the usefulness of your gift. Like I have seen a title company before put their logo really big in the middle of a cutting board. I'm like, dude, not cool. Like not cool. They can't even use it then, So guys, be classy, subtle, and tasteful with your brand. So one of the product lines we work with, which I know, again, Valencia, Michelle, and Pete all give our gifts on this call already, is the Cutco brand. If you're not familiar with Cutco, it's obviously kitchen stuff, right? And I want you to think about the last time you used a knife or a pair of scissors. If I had to, place $100,000 bet, my guess it's within the past 48 hours. Right? We all use it. It's very practical luxuries every single person is going to use on a weekly basis. And what we do is pretty simple. We brand them in a very classy, subtle, tasteful way. So every time your clients go to use this, which is probably more like 5 or 6 days out of the week, they're going to be reminded of you and your services, which this is also going to create a tax advantage for you guys as well too. So anything branded. So legally, our so dearly amazing friends that we have at the IRS, they allow all of us to write off a lovely $25 per client per year on a gift. That's it. Woohoo! Cheers. I can't even go to Mexican with one of my girlfriends for $25. Are you kidding me? Like my bill's like 30 or 40 just myself. Anything branded is 100% tax deductible. It's now an advertising tool for you guys. All right. Now, for those of you guys who aren't familiar with the Cutco brand, if you haven't picked up on it yet by the pictures and what I'm talking about, it's kitchen stuff, clearly, which we all know the number one room in the house where people gather is the kitchen. It's the heart of the home. It's where people gather. They eat and drink. Everybody eats and drinks every day. So the Cutco brand, made in America, out in New York, they are guaranteed forever. So what that means for you guys is no matter what, this specific company, they will fix, replace, and sharpen everything for free for your clients. So it could be 30 or 40 years down the road, they've given it to their kids or their grandkids, whatever, and they will still fix, replace, and sharpen it for free. So it's really cool. And it's also a little bit creepy, but when you give this gift to your client, it's going to outlive you and it's going to outlive your client and it's going to end up down the road, but it's something they're using now every week for the rest of their life, which is really powerful from a mind share standpoint on top of other marketing and touches you're doing to stay top of mind through your clients. And then some people just do our gifts by themselves. Some people will pair it with like a cutting board and a bottle of wine or bourbon or champagne to add a little flair to it. And then I do have some of my basket loving friends that still like to go out and shop and add some personal flair, but then they'll have that single Cutco item in there. So then they get that little personal aspect and they get the branded best of both worlds. So it just really depends on what you want to do in your business. And some people like to shop. I personally am not the type. I do not like, I had to go into the store the other day to buy a dress for a wedding. I'm like, I hate every bit of this. This is awful. So some people like to shop and some people don't like to shop. It's just whatever suits you and your business and what you like to do. We also do like cutting boards and we do bottles. Again, we really try to focus on practical luxuries. We know every single one of your clients, whether they're younger or older, family, single, doesn't matter. We know that they're going to use them because our goal is for you to give something that is going to keep you top of mind in the heart of the home that they're using and seeing every week for you. We just get you a small supply on hand of gifts. So whenever you need to give a gift, whether it is for a closing or a partner gift or a charity gift or holiday wedding, whatever it may be, you just got them there to be able to grab and go and not have to think about it. So to save you a bunch of time. And then I also have a promotional product business. So guys, let's be real here. Promotional items are not going to last forever. Okay. The purpose of promotional stuff, can it be something they use frequently in the season that they have it, right? So we try to, we do anything and everything, you name it, we can brand it. So strategic things that you're going to have even at your open houses, or if you've got a tent or a table set up at some event or something, client appreciation events, literally anything and everything you want branded, we can do. And there are certain things, guys, that I'm going to recommend for open house stuff. if you're doing a client appreciation event, or if you're doing a pop by gift, or if we're putting baskets together, referral gifts versus closing gifts, like there's certain things that I do recommend depending on what it is that you're looking for. And that's where we'll dive more one-on-one together. But I hope you guys got a nugget or two at least from this, or at least got you thinking a little bit differently about your branding and your business that you're doing and your gifting that you're doing. Here's what I'm gonna have everyone do really quick. See that big old circle? We all know what a QR code is. So go ahead, grab your phones out. I'll give everyone a second to do that. And now, do I work a lot with real estate agents? Absolutely. Do I work with all businesses? Absolutely, yes. I've got some pretty cool, one of my unique companies is a seed company I work with, which is very, very interesting. But scan the big circle in the middle, guys. That's going to get you entered into all of our monthly giveaways that we do. And then also, like, there's going to be a few yes or no questions for those of you guys that are interested in gifting and branding and being strategic with that in your business. Obviously, you're going to check mark yes. If you're not, then check mark no. But what'll happen then, my assistant Lindsay, she'll reach out and I'll text you my contact information today as well too, but she'll reach out in the next day or two to compare our calendars and snag some time for you and I to really dive in to see where I can best help and serve in your business with gifting and branding and all of that stuff. So I'll give everyone a second to do that. And I'm going to leave you with the last tip of when to give your gifts while you're filling that out. Naturally, everyone, lender, title, real estate agent, most people give their gifts at closing, just out of habit, because it's easy and convenient for you. I typically do not recommend doing that, because if you really think about your buyer, your seller, closing day, y'all, there's a lot going on for them. Let's be real, right? And the minute they leave closing, where's that gift going? I can tell you, the floorboard, the back seat, and their brain is going all these different directions of things that they need to go do now that they got the house closed, right? So I always recommend let them settle down, settle in, whether they're buying or selling, doesn't matter. Let them get settled, go back a week or 2 or 3 weeks later and give them their gift. And it's going to allow for another great touch for you with your clients, and just allow and more opportunities, reviews, referrals, right? Tons of opportunities. It's a great touch for you afterwards. And then that gift can sink in a little bit more as well for you too. That's my number one recommendation. Number two, you could always pop that bad boy in the mail. I mean, who doesn't like receiving a cool gift in the mail? You know what I mean? So that's always an option. The element of surprise, which if you're going to do that, you got to put something super special in the card, which I can help you with there. And then the third option is too, if you happen to have the buyer and it is final walkthrough, day and closing day are the same, which I know that those do not always align, but assuming they are same day, let your buyer leave. Walk right back into the house, because we all know the minute they go to turn the keys and walk into that front door, where are they going? The kitchen. It's the only place with counter space. So you could have their gift waiting there as a surprise for them. So just a few things for you guys to stand out a little bit more with your gifts and make more of an impact than what you're doing right now, which is the standard industry norm gift at the closing table. But if that's your only option, you're like, Kristen, I'm not going to do anything, that's what I do. Great. At least you're giving a gift. I'm proud of you. What you appreciate appreciates. I'm a big believer in that. So, but I hope everyone got a nugget. Again, for those of you guys interested, I'm going to send you my contact card today, and my assistant Lindsay will reach out, and I look forward to helping more of you guys. And any way I can help and serve, please let me know.
Thank you, Kristen. Yes, I'll give her a shout out. I know Pete will too, but it has made my life so much easier with giving these gifts as closing gifts, because I always was trying to find something creative and, you know, what do you do and how do you tailor it to that person, and their gifts that everybody will use. I get such great feedback on them. I had a client text me 2 weeks ago from a closing from a year ago and said, I'm chopping my stuff for chili with my knife from my favorite realtor, and just sweet, like totally out of the blue. So it's like I said, it makes life a lot easier, and people really do appreciate them and use them all the time. So
Thank you, Michelle.
You're welcome.
I'll pay
All right,
you.
y'all. Yeah. Good plug. But all right, real quick, since so many of us are Gmail users, let me make sure I'm sharing my screen, which I know I'm not. Let's see, Kristen. I don't see anybody else. Oh my gosh. Let me make you bigger again. Okay, share screen. Here we go. Host only.
Well, I know I'm going to get my niece and nephew's Cutco knives, so this way, when she asks me that next time, I'll be like, I know what I got last year.
Yeah, right.
I know what presents I gave out.
Well, I will say, Kristen, I was going to answer you too. I still have a Christmas gift in the cardboard box that's sitting on the floor in my bedroom from 2 months ago that needs to be put together. And it's like, I'll get to that at some point.
It's okay. It'll happen sometime.
Right. Okay, y'all. So Tom might be able to jump in here and tag team with me on this, but we wanted to show you guys really quickly how you can turn on what's called a two-step verification with your Gmail account. So this allows you to have some extra security when you log in, especially from places that you don't use all the time, like your home desktop or your phone. It's much more secure than just using a password, and it's super easy to do.
And probably want to give a little bit of background on it. You probably have heard stories of people receiving emails that appear to be coming from, say, their agent, or coming from a title company, coming from someone by a bad actor, telling them to send earnest money in preparation for the closing, or some sort of monies in, say, preparation for a closing. And that person ends up doing it and transferring the money, and that money is gone. You know, they're not randomly kicking people out and saying, maybe this person's got their house on the market, maybe they have a closing coming up. They are getting into people's email accounts. If you think of your own email account, you know, some of you may have folders set up for closings, for clients, and they can go in and they can look, oh, wow, here is a closing coming up. So they're in your email account. They send an email to your client, which they have their email address because they're in your email account. And your client thinks it's coming from you. And before you know it, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 has been transferred. And that becomes your problem. That becomes your problem because they got into your email account because you didn't take the steps to secure it. And so what Michelle's going to talk about is a two-step authentication, which, like she said, that's what she said. I couldn't help. But basically, it's not necessarily to protect you always when you're on another computer somewhere. It's because that other person, that bad actor, is going to be on another computer somewhere. They could be sitting in a foreign country. They could be sitting in your country, but they're going to log on from their computer, from their phone, or whatever. And at that point in time, yes, they may have the correct password. They may have all of that, but they're not going to be able to receive a text that's coming to your phone to verify that you are who you are. So if you don't have this set up, obviously everybody on here is independent contractors. I can't tell you to go and do this today. But if you want to more safeguard your future and your liability, what she's getting ready to go over, make sure you have it turned on. And if you're not using Gmail, we'll show you Gmail today. If you're using some other type account, go out and Google multi-factor authentication or two-step authentication for whatever provider that you have, and make sure that you turn it on for your emails.
Okay, can y'all see my screen?
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to show you what this looks like if you're on a desktop in your Gmail, and we've got some Word docs with some instructions on how to do this, what I'm going to show you, and then from your iPhone and an Android as well. So I'll email those out to everybody, but this is inside of your inbox. And what you're going to do is come up here to the right-hand corner where my picture is with the colors around it, and go to manage your Google account. And then over here on the left, we're going to go to security. And then we're going to scroll down. And if you have not done this, you're going to see this right here where it says two-step verification, it's going to say off, and you would just click on this arrow just like I have here. It's going to ask you to sign in with your password. So you're going to have to do that. And then down here, again, if you haven't done this already, it's going to ask to verify your phone number to be able to send you recovery texts if need be, and to send you codes. So you would click on this, type your phone number in there, and then it's going to send you a code text that you will plug in. And then let's go back here. And then literally I'll show you guys how to do it. So I'll turn it off here. You can turn it off anytime. I don't recommend that you would do that. I don't know why, but if you look, here's the screen again under security. Two-step verification, it's off. So I'm going to click here, and then we're going to hit get started. And we see my two devices here that can get prompts. I've already plugged in my phone, but normally it's going to ask you to plug in your phone number there. You can get your codes via text or phone call. I would do text, hit send, and then on my phone, I have just gotten a text from Google. You can see that, but it's a 6-digit code. I'm going to type that in. And then I get a security alert on my phone that tells me that two-step has now been turned on. And I'm going to click it down here. And boom, that's literally all it is. So now it's turned on. So I'll go back to the security screen, and it shows that it's on. It literally is that easy. Like I said, this is from a desktop, and we'll send you some instructions on how to do it with your iPhone and Android as well. But pretty easy. Something you may or may not already have been aware of, but definitely take the time to do this sooner rather than later. I think that's about it.
If you don't have an iPhone, you don't have Android, surely you've got a computer. But if you're using anything other than Gmail, also go out, like I said, and Google that. Two-step authentication, multi-factor authentication, and whatever you're using, turn it on.
We have that. Do we have that for all our Coldwell Banker emails?
Yes, you can turn it on there as well. Yes. And that is something to note here. He touched on something. We're in the process. Back when Coldwell Banker started providing Office 365, which includes the email Outlook, includes Microsoft Word, Microsoft PowerPoint, Microsoft Excel. It's something that Coldwell Banker provides to every agent. Now, when we converted over that, when they started doing that, there were probably about only 40 agents who were taking advantage of the previous program where there was a cost. The company picked up the cost on that for those 40 plus agents. Probably in the past year, it was provided for free to all of the Coldwell Banker agents. A lot of you may not have realized that. You know, you missed an email, you missed a conversation or whatever. When we looked at it, I think it's been in the past 2 weeks. There were, like I said, probably 150 or so people who did not have access to it. And so Robin has sent a list to the people at Coldwell Banker to make sure it's turned on for everybody. Once it's turned on for you, you will have a tile on your desk, mycbdesk.com, that says Coldwell Banker email. And that's how you can access Office 365. If you're sometimes creating documents, presentations, or something in a substandard product, you now have access to all that. So next time you're in desk, see if you have it and go in and play around with all the tools you've got.
All right, you might got anything else? Got this recorded, so I'll get it sent out to everybody and put it on Level Up and the Facebook page as well. If not, y'all have a good week. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank y'all.